Mustafa Ali requests WWE release after a heated argument with Vince McMahon. A top WWE star is cleared to wrestle once again, and Roman Reigns sets a new WWE record. Find out what that is in a little tickle. Now then, after Vince McMahon told him to his face that he didn't believe in him because he, and I quote, too polished, too clean and too nice, after being given a really crappy gimmick that was never ever given the chance to succeed as the leader, of course, of Retribution, after trying to make things happen for himself in the form of these fantastic promos that he put on his social media channels that proved he could be a fantastic babyface or a fantastic heel, after reportedly being on the brink there, Andrew, of two pushes up the card, once just before Kofi Mania took off, of course, and once just before WWE changed their minds at the last second and decided to give Brock Lesnar Money in the Bank. Unsurprisingly, Mustafa Ali announced yesterday that he has requested his release from WWE. It took to his social media accounts once again, and he says, I have a message that is much bigger than my dreams in pro wrestling. Despite my best efforts, I will not be able to deliver this message while working with WWE. Therefore, I am requesting my release from WWE. Now, the last time we saw Mustafa Ali on our screens was on all the way back. It's shocking, this, isn't it? All the way back on October the 29th, that was an episode of SmackDown where he came on the show and he cut a promo saying the only reason the fans booed him was because of what his name was and the connotations, I guess, that wrestling and media and all that sort of stuff has put around all of that. And then he took to Twitter to say a little while before that there was plans to create a gimmick where he was going to bring a new America to WWE and just continue this message that it seems that he's still not being able to sort of promote and put through WWE. It's a really messy situation here, Andy. We have more to this report from Fightful. What are they saying about this?
They said that plans for Ali's new gimmick changed, with Vince McMahon reportedly pitching something that Mustafa Ali would never have done, leading to a heated argument between the chairman and the performer. And Ali had requested one shot off for paternity leave after his wife recently gave birth, but he's been available to return to action since the first week of December. However, we know how that has gone, as we haven't seen him since October. Crazy when you've got someone as talented as Ali, someone who looks good as well, who can do all the wrestling and do it incredibly well, who's got great promo skills, as you said too. To mess this up is, I don't have the words, Ross. I don't have the words.
It's not even messing it up, isn't it? They didn't even give the guy a chance. I know because I put a tweet out last night. I got a reply saying that Retribution leader gimmick was supposed to showcase him, and that was supposed to be his vehicle to the main event scene. And I was like, come on. You've got Slapjack and T-Bar. Not the men themselves, the gimmick, the names. It's silly. Nobody takes it seriously, do they, Andrew?
No.
But it is a shame to see what's happened with Mustafa Ali. Obviously, it's going to be interesting to see from here on out if WWE grant the request. You would assume, with all of the budget cuts in the sea of record profits and better than expected profits they've been putting over recent months and recent years, that they wouldn't say yes to this request. If it does get accepted, where are you saying he goes?
I don't know. He's obviously expressed interest on his social media on Twitter about perhaps maybe acting somewhere down the line. I know that it seems as though Marvel are looking for someone to join the production of Blade and to be a part of that. So maybe he goes and down that path and starts acting. I can see him being a fantastic actor with the promos and things he puts out as well. However, if this means, maybe he's got bigger and better stories to tell in other promotions, Impact, AEW, like, who knows? Honestly, wherever he goes, though, he's going to be amazing no matter what. Like, there's no denying it.
Yeah, I just hope wherever he ends up, he just gets a sort of creative freedom to put this message across that he's been gagging to do so for so long. So all the best to Mustafa Ali in his future. It's just good on the lad for having the cojones, the chutzpah, the other manly words to request his release from the big time, so to speak. Next up, we have news of a WWE superstar who has been cleared for an in-ring return to action. This news comes to us from Andrew Zarian of the McMahon podcast. Who is it, Andrew?
It is. Are you ready for it, Ross? Are you ready for her?
I don't know if I am.
It's been a while, hasn't it? It's Asuka. So yeah, according to Andrew Zarian of the McMahon podcast, former women's champion Asuka should be cleared to return to the company now. And we haven't seen Asuka since Money in the Bank in July either. And then in August, it was reported that she wasn't injured. We thought that she was injured, and then it was reported that she wasn't injured. However, then Asuka quickly debunked that. She shared some photos of her arm in a brace, and then she also went to have dental surgery too in August to repair damage that Shayna Baszler caused when she hoofed her right in the face with a sweet kick. And if anything, the Royal Rumble would be a perfect place for Asuka to come back. Obviously, we've seen that WWE are relying on bringing a lot of people back that are either, like part-timers or legends, Mickie James as well. And yeah, the Rumble would be perfect, I think, for Asuka to come back.
Of course, she won the first ever one all the way back. I say all the way back. It's horrible to say, isn't it? All the way back in 2018. 4 years ago now, Andrew.
4 years ago.
Yeah, but if Asuka is to make her return, which apparently she could do at the Royal Rumble, hopefully WWE don't announce this, and hopefully they just have it be a surprise, because obviously one of the great things about a Rumble match is the surprises that happen during the match. And I don't know if it is just me. It might just be me, but I was a little bit peeved is the word when I was like, oh, they've announced everybody who's in the match so far. How great would it have been to hear I guess it's different for the people like Lita, who of course won last week's SmackDown, making the storyline with Charlotte Flair maybe coming to fruition, but certainly some of the names on there, especially with Mickie James and people like that. Imagine the holy shit that would have happened if her music just hit hardcore country just out of nowhere.
That would have been incredible, and she just walks down with the Impact Women's Champion as well. Like that, oh god, that would have been amazing. But I think we are in need of some more people on the women's roster at the moment. Obviously, it's very thin on the main roster at least. So Asuka coming back and Asuka maybe getting back into that top spot for a little bit, I would not be opposed of seeing.
Yep. Now then, we spoke about Asuka, who wasn't injured, but now we have news on a superstar who is injured, or maybe isn't injured, or maybe is injured. Who knows what's going on here? This is about Bayley, who has commented on recent reports from the Wrestling Observer himself, Ravy Davey Meltzer, who said that she could return from a torn ACL as early as next month, but it's more likely that she'll be back in March. What has the hugger had to say there, Andrew?
So she said, oh my god, good to know. They are always accurate, which is, I like that a lot. She underwent surgery on the injury in July and was expected to miss 9 months. And then she, went onto Twitter to reply, oh my God, good to know. So it's nice that, she's finding out when she can return through Ravy Davey Meltzer.
That's how all wrestlers find out what's going on with their lives. Oh, I've got a haircut appointment today. Well, read it in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. I didn't know it was there.
Thanks, Dave.
He has been a bit hit and miss recently, has poor old Dave, but who knows what might happen. I guess it's good on Bayley for sort of playing along, but also keeping her return a surprise.
Yeah,
it's always nice to have a surprise in the professional wrestling, isn't it?
It is, that's it. I think maybe a few of us thought, I wonder if she'll turn up at the Rumble. This is a little bit of a confirmation, sort of, that it could be a little bit later than we imagined. But, again, we don't really know what's going to happen in the Rumble. Things can happen and people can pop up and have little nice surprises here and there. I'm going to stop with my mouth words now because I don't know where I'm going. So I'm going to stop.
I'll tell you where I'm going. I'm going to Dallas, because last night at the Super Bowls, which is the football of the American version. Americans hate me for being so condescending like that. American football last night, Sheamus and Bayley were in attendance at that massive stadium in Arlington, Texas, where WrestleMania 32 was. The next WrestleMania is going to be. And they watched some American footballers kick the footballs and do the tackles and whatnot. So that's interesting, isn't it?
Oh, that is interesting, yeah.
It wasn't a date. They were just there together.
They were just there together.
Friends. Roman Reigns now has set a new record in WWE, and he has officially surpassed Brock Lesnar's record to become the longest reigning Universal Champion in history. The Tribal Chief has now held that big blue bastard for 504 days, beating the 503 days Lesnar had the big red bastard between WrestleMania 33 and SummerSlam 2018. Brock still holds the record for the most days holding the title combined, however, at 686 days. Reigns currently has had it for 567. Ooh. I've seen a few people online here, Andrew, saying they're getting a bit bored of the one-noteness, if that's a word, of Roman Reigns as the Tribal Chief as Universal Champion. What say you?
I am on the fence with it because on one side, I can see where they're coming from because it is very one note at the moment. However, I like that they're putting a little bit more sort of prestige on the belt at the same time. I think that was the thing about wrestling way back, is someone would hold the belt for a ridiculous amount of days and actually make it mean something when it finally changed hands. We've seen the WWE Championship, although it's gone into people's hands that we wanted to see it in their hands. It's just been like flip-flop, like a few months here, a few months there. But with the Universal Championship, I feel like they're putting a little bit of prestige back on that belt. And I like that. However, now, whereas I might have been before, sort of like it is a little bit one note now. Obviously now with Paul Heyman and things starting to deteriorate a little bit there. Now it's getting interesting. And I like it now.
And Brock Lesnar is taking the piss out of Roman Reigns. I'm still on board with Roman Reigns holding that belt for maybe another year, and then whoever's ready, a new face on the main event scene to get that massive win of beating the guy who's held the belt for like 3 years, whatever it'll be at that point in time. So I'm still on board with Reigns as the Tribal Chief, as your Universal Champion. Congratulations, Roman, on breaking that record. You've worked really hard. Well done. That's it for News Video 1. Check back on the channel later today where myself and Andrew will be back for a second news video. Any closing remarks there?
No, have a nice Monday. There you go.
Very sincere words there from Andrew. I hope you have a nice Monday too. Goodbye.